All right, so a member of my lab asked me how to maintain whatever it is that you've manifested. So, in today's office hours, that is what I want to talk about. So, if you're not sure what the lab is, that is my coaching group that is on Facebook. So, I would love to have you on there. I am selecting different questions from those members so then that way I can have these office hours talks and video topics. So if you want to join, definitely click the link below. I'd love to have you. It is a monthly subscription, and this month we have our Just Like Magic challenge where we are testing all of the woo with manifestation. So yes, come join us so then that way you can start to shape and create your reality to know that you are source and that life is not happening to you, it's happening from you. So if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Brooke and I talk about reality creation, manifestation, and specifically the law of assumption. So again, today's topic is going to be about how to maintain. So this person didn't put a ton of detail in their question, so I'm going to take a couple of guesses to fill in some blanks. So let's just say you've been manifesting a specific person, right? Whatever it is that you desire, you can insert whatever your specific situation is, and you have your manifestation. So what do you do next? You enjoy it, you like it, and then sometimes people have fear of losing it. So can you manifest your fears? Yes, absolutely. You can manifest your fears. So how do you maintain the desire or the wish fulfilled? Remember, your identity creates your reality. So it really is just about going back to your I amness and the decision that you made. So your identity is who you are, right? Doesn't matter what that is, whatever label you want to put on that. It's what you know to be true of yourself, and your manifestation or your physical experience in the 3D is just a reflection of what you claim to be true about yourself. So if you're manifesting a specific person, you're claiming the identity of I am committed to, I'm loved, I'm chosen, right? So you are that regardless of the manifestation because that's who you are. So your identity is a person that's loved, chosen, and committed to. And so your world reflects that back to you. So your manifestation, your specific person is just the vessel that is the experience. And you are still chosen no matter what. So I say that all to say, a lot of the times people get worried because they feel like they have to maintain this level of emotional states, right? Like I need to be happy. I need to not have worry, doubt, or fear. And that's not true, right? Because my name is Brooke, right? I might wake up in the morning and I identify, part of my identity is that I am Brooke. I am a manifestation coach online. I am a daughter. I'm a sister. And so regardless of my emotional state, I am still all of those things. So it's important to remember that all emotional states exist within all identities. So just because I wake up sad one day or I wake up happy one day, that doesn't change the fact that I'm a sister and that I'm a friend and that I am a coach online, right? So your mood and your emotions don't dictate your manifestation. So it's your I amness and knowing and being rooted in who you are. So that's your decision, right? Because you could say that we're all deciding who we are, whether if you, are a sister or not, that's still a choice that you make because you identify with that. You could have a sibling and say, I don't identify with that. That's not my sibling. I don't identify with that person. That's not my family. That's a choice. That's a decision. But by default, you probably subscribe to the belief that you are a sister. So it's about resetting your default programming and knowing that you are chosen. That's just who you are, despite what your 3D shows you, despite what you're feeling, despite whatever your mood is. That is your identity, your I amness. So to maintain any manifestation, and let's just keep going with the specific person example, it's to know that nothing is separate from you. So when you claim who you are, that's just who you are, independent of anything. So you are source, you're the one that's deciding. And really, remember, it's your reality. So you're the only person that can manifest in your reality. So let's just say your specific person shows up and they're unfavorable. You can choose a different experience. You can make a different choice and say no, right? They might come up to you and say, I found someone else. And you can just say, okay, right? You just go within and you decide, you may think that, but you're committed to me and you love me and you care for me and only me, right? Because they're only reflecting back to you maybe an insecurity that you had or doubt or worry or fear, but you go back to your I amness and saying, no, I am chosen. I am cared for. And then they have no choice but to reflect that back to you because you're the only manifester in your reality. So no one else can manifest in your reality unless you claim that to be true, right? Unless if in your reality you're letting other people manifest and you're saying, oh, they have free will and they get to do whatever they want, well, then it's still your creation because you're creating the rule that they can manifest in your reality. So it's really about going back to your I amness and your choice and your decision and being rooted in that identity and who you are. And that's just reminding yourself, right? And don't beat yourself up. This is not about thinking perfectly all of the time. You're going to have those emotions come up. Like that is to be expected, right? But that doesn't change who you are, just like it doesn't change that I'm a daughter and that I'm a sister and that I'm a woman and that I'm whoever I claim to be, unless if I decide otherwise, if I decide to identify as someone else. And again, that would be a decision. So are you deciding that you're no longer chosen? Are you deciding that you're no longer abundant? Because then you can manifest that. However, that's a conscious choice that you could make. But just because you have the feeling of, worry, doubt, or whatever it is that comes up, that doesn't mean that that's your decision. That doesn't mean that's what you have to identify with. That doesn't mean that's who you are. So your thoughts are like clouds truly passing by in the sky, and they just come up. They're just floating, right? But that's not the selection or choice that you necessarily have to make. So don't be afraid of your feelings, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all God having a human experience, and feelings are a part of that equation. So don't fret, experience them. It's okay because you can be sad, you can shed tears, and you can still affirm in that moment, okay, yes, I'm having this emotional response right now, but I still know who I am, and that is love itself, right? That is divinity, that is perfection, that is wholeness, that is oneness, that I am more than enough. So again, don't be afraid of your 3D, don't be afraid of your emotions, because you're creating your reality and just being rooted in who you are. So yes, I do say your thoughts become things, but remember, it's your dominant thoughts that manifest. So while the other little tricky ones and unfavorable ones can slide in there, the moment you become aware of them, that's the victory, and you don't have to identify with them. And this is not keeping tabs on your thoughts all day and flipping every single one. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying to allow yourself to return to your decision in those moments. It's a moment of reflection and reminding yourself that you're creating your reality. And in practical senses, you're doing it quickly, right? This is not something that has to take long. You don't need to go get a pillow and meditate and do a mantra or robotically affirm. It's just like, okay, I'm sad right now. So what? Who cares, right? I'm experiencing sadness. I'm allowed to experience sadness. That doesn't change the fact that I'm loved and in a committed relationship. Whether you are in the 3D or not, right? Even if it's still in your imagination, it's your identity and claiming who you are. Maybe you're not experiencing your specific person yet. You're still claiming I am chosen because that is who I am, right? That's your I amness. So whatever you identify and claim to be true is truly what will be true for you. So just remind yourself in those moments of who you are, and don't be afraid of your emotions. Because emotions don't manifest. It's your dominant assumptions and your dominant beliefs. And manifestation is truly a skill. And the more you return to your I amness, the more it becomes a belief, right? Somebody could believe that the sky is, purple, then that's their belief, right? They believe that, and their reality, maybe it is purple, but you just know the sky to be blue. You don't need to sit there and affirm it. You don't need to meditate on it. You just know that the sky is blue. So the more rooted you are in your identity, you don't have to revert to those techniques. And whenever an unfavorable thought comes up or the opposite, you're still rooted in the fact that the sky is blue, right? Even if the clouds come by and the skies turn dark, you still know that the sky underneath all of that is blue. So the same thing about you. If you're feeling an emotion, if you're feeling the tears come on, you still know that you're source. So just build that as a muscle and know that as an unshakable truth, that you are who you say you are. And that's everything, right? Because nothing is separate from you. So just return to who you are in those moments, and have the brazen impotence to just keep going. So I hope this answers your question, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye.